Morning, everybody. Jump on and welcome to Stand Together, day number 7. Good morning. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. If you're watching this live, jump on and say hi below and let me know you are hanging out and watching this with me today. Good morning. Welcome to day number 7 of Stand Together. And today I'm coming to you live from the Cubby House. This is what I wish I had when I was a kid, let me tell you. I feel like everything you do as a parent is to make sure your kids have things that... Look at that thing, it's like a house in there. Look at that thing. Would have lived in that at their age. We had to build our own. Good morning. Welcome to day number 7 of Stand Together. Hey, jump on, say good morning. And listen, if you're new to this thing, then you are in for a treat. Listen, we do this every morning, and I'm giving you something that can help you within your life, within your business, building your empire, which is multiple streams of income, multiple businesses with multiple streams of income, but not about just making money. This is also about building your life as well, right? That's what this is about too. So that's what I'm doing every morning. Then we're doing a bit of a Q&A. So if you've been joining us every day so far live, let me know. I'd love to know if you're joining us, you join live every day to see those that have been making it every single day. Let me know in the comments if you joined every single morning live here. That's pretty cool. Hey, look, today I've got a bit of a lesson for you, and I'm sitting in the Cubby House for this one. It's actually quite appropriate for this lesson. And today I wanted to talk to you about this. One of the things that I noticed that can happen as you start a business and you grow a business. And this one particularly goes out to those people, not just those that have a family, but those that have people around them that demand some time as well. So whether you're single and you got really, a bunch of busy friends that you have, or family, brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers and people that want to have time around you and you want to spend time with, or whether you've got a family and you've got children and you've got a partner, whatever it may be, whatever family is to you, this is probably a big lesson for you guys today. And it was one of the things that I really struggled with early on. You see, being an entrepreneur, right? Being an entrepreneur, there's no borders, there's no boundaries, there's no, especially when you first start, there's no, all right, I'm only going to think about work here. I'm only going to do this, because you're always looking at new ways to grow, and you're always thinking about how can I grow and get that step further than where I am now. And one of the things I really struggled with when I very first started, not just when I first started, actually, to be fair, probably a couple of years. Hello, my princess. She's waving at me. She's like, why are you in my Cubby House? Can I come to my Cubby House? She's like, why can't I come to my Cubby House, guys? And one of the things that I struggled with early on is I tried to work out a work-life balance, right? And I tried to work out, all right, I'm going to work up until, let's say, 6 o'clock at night or 5:30 at night, and then I'm going to leave my phone, I'm going to leave my computer, I'm going to never think about work, I'm going to never speak about work to my wife, to my friends, to anybody, and I'm going to have this real cutoff, and then that's it. And I started to go, okay, that's the way life should be, right? I've got to have this balance. And I realized after a couple of years of building and become more successful, I was really building this real negative connotation to business, right? This really negative connotation to, like, oh gosh, I've got to do this, and oh, it's a Saturday, and oh my gosh, and I'm failing because I've got to take that phone call on the Sunday morning, or I've got to, or I've got to do something, or I want to do something, and it became a real challenge for me, because I really felt like I was failing because I wasn't balancing right. And I realized something about life, and especially about if you have a business or you're a part of an entrepreneurial business, and you've got an empire, especially, is that life is not a balance. And everyone says it's balance. It's like, I see people, I've got friends of mine that have businesses, and they go to dinner like, okay, if it's date night, we're not allowed to speak about business, right? At all, we're not allowed to speak about business. I'm like, why? Why is it such a bad thing to speak about business when you're on a date? Is that a real bad thing? So I started to say, okay, this balance thing is really causing issues and tension and stress and anxiety and these challenges. I thought, hang on a second, what is it about this that I can start to master better? And I worked out something, and I call it, I think that balance is wrong, right? Work-life balance is wrong. I think the idea of that is wrong. I think that what the people's opinions and people's ideas around you've got to have a balance is wrong. And I don't think it applies to an entrepreneur. I don't think it applies to an empire builder. I think what we should be looking for, and it's where I found a lot more happiness, is this thing that I call work-life blend. Work-life blend, the difference between work-life balance and blend is balance is you have to do one thing, then you're doing the other. Whereas a blend is, it's okay to sometimes have to miss that school musical, or have to miss that drop off, or be late by 15 minutes for that pickup. And I say that because so many parents, especially parents when it comes to, kids, there's a lot of guilt around this. And I think that people have to stop and say, okay, well, I've got to have a work-life blend, not a work-life balance. And I think what that means is that, this last week that's gone, and one of the reasons why we did stand together at 8 was that I've been having board meetings with the States, where I've got about 20 of my investments are in America, and I've been having board meetings between 1 and 4 a.m. and then some, even just after that as well. And does that mean that my blend has to change because during the night while my family, they're my team too, while my family is sleeping, I'm up doing some board meetings. That's okay. But you know what? Sometimes, and I think that the lockdown, I suppose here in Australia, definitely those that are watching from Australia and here in Melbourne, it also means that if you do have a chance, you can go for a walk with your children, or you can call your mum during the day if you're younger, and you're calling your mum and your dad and seeing how you can do that on a Tuesday at lunchtime while you go for a walk to get a coffee. It doesn't have to be this balance where it's this or it's this. It's got to be a blend. And I think the blend means things can happen at different stages. You can have some family time on a Tuesday Tuesday late morning. You can all go for a breakfast and finish at 10:30 if you run your own business and if your kids are home from school, right? You don't have to do it only on a Saturday or a Sunday morning is where I go and hang out with my family. I do that. And conversely, if you really need to do a business meeting on a Saturday night with a partner, go out on that Saturday night with a business partner. It's the blend. But here's the trick, okay? This is not a get out of jail free card to say, okay, Aaron, if it's a blend, I can just do whatever I want, whenever I want for my business. It's a blend, but you've got to have the right ingredients in this blend, right? You've got to have the right ingredients in this blend. What that means is, yes, you can't pour too much of the work ingredient in there, or else you ruin the mixture. It's about the ingredients have still got to be right. The balance of how much you put of each ingredients is still going to be right. But the blend, stop creating these boundaries and borders, and stop putting yourself in a situation where you feel like a terrible person because you haven't been able to call that best friend of yours for a couple of weeks because you've been fucking busy trying to build your empire. Or if some people do say, oh, you never come out on a Thursday night anymore and get smashed with us at a bar, when you're allowed to, by the way. You're not fun. You know what? When I was coming up, for me, I hit a point where, yes, I partied, don't get that wrong. But I hit a point where I was like, okay, you know what? I would rather spend my money and time on learning and building a business than going out, Friday and Saturday and Sunday and sometimes Monday and Tuesday. I sort of said to myself, okay, what do I want to do? What's my life going to be like now? And you have to start making those decisions for yourself. But this idea of a blend is really important, I think, because life is a blend. Life's a blend. It's not a balance. You don't balance things. You don't balance work and life, right? You blend your life. You've got 24 hours a day. You've got 7 days a week, and you have to blend everything together. So listen, sometimes you might not be the stand-up parent that can make the fucking bake-off. Oh my gosh, if I hear one more newsletter about a bake-off, you might not be able to make the fucking bake-off, but you know what? You might be able to be the parent that can take them away on a holiday when it's not school holidays. You might be able to be the parent that gets to be there and even be even more present on other times you can't be. You might be the person to be able to help them build opportunities and time, not just opportunities like I'm making money, so I'm giving them opportunities. Because of course you've got to blend your time, which is really important because, kids more than anything, they need our presence, right? Us being there, not our presence, the things that we buy them, right? Presence, not presence. But you've got to blend life. And you can't set yourself up for failure because I can only think about business from 9 till 6 and then that's it. And if I do everything else, I feel like I'm falling apart. So bullshit to this work-life balance. It's a blend. And I think that the more that we can connect to this, I really feel like it's going to help people to deal with life and not feel like they're failing because they're not seeing that friend if they don't have a partner, or if they've got a partner and they're not going out every night with a new partner. It's saying, listen, I'm building an empire, right? This is the thing. I'm building an empire. This is my life. This is what I want to do too. But just blend the ingredients right. This is not a permission for everybody to say, okay, Aaron, it's a blend. I'm going to spend 85% of that blend on business. But look, there's been times, where I've been, what others might say is a shit dad because I've missed, I've been late for 2 or 3 pickups if I'm on pickup duty, or I've not been there I've not gone to the birthday parties to take the kids and my wife's had to go instead of me there. But there's been other times where I've been able to do absolutely everything. I've been able to be a part of everything and do everything because I give myself permission to say that work and life is a blend. And as long as I've got the right ingredients right, then I'm moving forward in my life. And ultimately, who I need to make sure that I'm kosher with, I'm okay with, it's me. I've got to make sure that I am okay with the decisions that I make. I don't give a fuck about what another parent thinks. I don't give a fuck about what a business partner of mine might think about my parent. Like, if they've got their own style, I've got my own style. The parent has their own way, I've got my own way. As long as I'm really happy with my life as a blend, then that's a really important thing for me. And of course, there's other things that go into this, but on the nutshell, if I can give you something about life outside of your building your empire, is look for a blend. Don't look for a balance. I think it just sets up so much animosity and anxiety and fear and feeling of failure that you just don't need to have if you start to think about this blend a lot more than this balance. And don't listen to this balance bullshit that people keep talking about. It just doesn't work. Does that make sense to y'all? Let me know if it does, by the way, in the comments. I'd love to know if that makes sense to you all, if that's helped as well, if that makes sense, this whole idea of this blend, versus a balance, which means you might do a video inside of a cubby house. Cubby house has got tons of stuff in it. Oh, I'm looking like it. I built that dollhouse. See that dollhouse? Check that dollhouse out. I built that dollhouse. High five me. That's what you call a fucking blend. Make sense? Balance, not blend. A blend. Blend. I read the word balance, someone's throw out. Blend, yeah? Blending your life. Not trying to balance these two things, on and off switches that you're supposed to have, It's blending. I come up with some brilliant ideas sometimes on the weekend. Some brilliant ideas sometimes. You know what I do? I grab my phone, I write it in my notes, I send a quick voice message off to one of my team members, say, hey, listen, I need you to do this, 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 and this, and this. Then I go back to whatever it may be, right? Whether it be jumping on the trampoline over there, playing basketball, hanging out with my kids, whatever. It's blend. Make sense? Questions time. All right, who's got some questions? You guys can throw those questions out at me. What questions have you got? Go ahead and let me know. What are your questions? First thing in the morning, let me know. Let me know what your questions are. Go. What are your questions? Who's got some questions? Hey, if you want to see if I can blend my conversation with you today by jumping on my trampoline at the same time? This is going to be difficult. What questions you got? This trampoline, we're not installing it. I said, can this trampoline hold me and my weight? That's a blend for you. trampoline. Give me a question. What have you got? Oh, there's birds are loud here this morning. I'll trip over these stairs. Okay, what have we got? What questions we got? All right, what have you got? How do you blend with your 4-day work? Okay, so my events. Yeah, look, it's a great example. So I do these things called live experiences, and they are a live experience. And I play full fucking tilt for 4 days, and I teach people about building their empires called Empire Mastery. For those of you that haven't heard about it, and I'm positive that a bunch of you have been there, I'm sure, or coming. So what I do, that's full tilt work. I'm helping people. I'm doing what I do in our education business. So I don't really speak to my family that much because I'm starting early. I'm finishing late, but then when I come back, I've got a day or two where I'm with my family, and I'm with them, and then we generally would go away. We'll spend a couple of days away. We'd love short trips, so I make that time up with them as well. But I'll come back, and that week after, I'll work a little bit more from home. I'll spend more time with the kids, drop them off, pick them up, with my wife, so I can kind of make up that time later on and be more present there. But they know that when Daddy's got to go away, Daddy's helping people, right? So they know that, and so that's how I blend it when I'm away, and they know that sometimes I've got to go. Part of my role is that I need to go away. Part of what Daddy does for work is he helps people, so they know that. My kids understand that. My wife understands that. And again, as long as I'm not away, like I wouldn't be happy if I was away every weekend, which is the reason why I'm not away every weekend. Some other people that teach people and help them, they go away every weekend. And because that's all they do, whereas me, I blend all the things in my life. I blend my charity, I blend my venture capital, I blend my helping of people in what I do. Like after this, I'm going to go and I don't think they've had breakfast yet. I think they might have had breakfast. I think they're eating breakfast. I'm going to go and finish breakfast with them. Then it's Thursday, so my son's doing kinder. I'll probably take my son to kinder. Then I've got meetings booked, but that's what I can do, right? And not just when it's lockdown, but that's just life. I choose to do that. And there's other times where I'm full tilt and I'm not seeing them for a couple of days because I'm interstate or maybe even overseas. Remember, we could do that. All right, what other questions we got? How long did it take you to get into your is it your base on your into still getting it, or you're still getting? Yeah, look, it took me a while to get it. I think that I had to. I think also, it's a conversation with your partner if you have one as well. Like I had to make sure that my blend was right for my wife as well, because one thing I've always said, and I've been open about it, is I love what I do. I fucking love what I do professionally. I love building empires. I fucking love it. I love teaching you. I love going out there, even though it's the most draining and challenging and hardest thing I do in my entire life is helping you guys to be able to grow. Building empires is easier compared to teaching it, but I do it because it's the most rewarding thing that I do. But for me, the idea of it is making sure that I got the right blend that works for my life. My life also means my wife, my children, and it's not always pretty. Sometimes I haven't seen my kids for a week. I'm like, fuck, it'll be easier if I worked for somebody making, X amount of dollars a year and not doing that, right? But then I go, I wouldn't do that. No way. Because I love what I get. I love what I get to do every day. I love what I get to wake up and do every day in my charity, in my venture capital, and in my helping of people. So look, it takes a bit of time to work out that blend to get it right. And sometimes you're going to feel like you're the best boss in the world. Other times you're going to feel like you're the best parent in the world, and other times you're going to feel like you're the best of both in the world. You just got to keep working towards that. That's why life is designed every day as an experience. It's not about, okay, finally I've hit my work-life blend. It is, for me, life by design is ultimately an experience, and you don't get to a point where you have a life by design. You have to create that experience for yourself every day. It's the big thing that people miss. It's like sports people working their entire season to get to that one game to win the final, and that's when they feel happy, or that's when they feel like they've made it, and that's when they feel like they've done. It's about enjoying the process along the way. Look at the NBA championships. Look at the Bucks that won. Giannis, who is the MVP, who, if you follow the NBA, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, basketball, NBA. Giannis, they said, hey, what are you going to do? This is game 5. We're going on to game 6. It's a hectic game. What are you going to do? Preparation for game 6. You could win the NBA finals. What are you going to do for this one? He turned around to the reporter and he says, I don't know yet. Right now I'm going to go home. I'm going to hang out with my kids and my wife and rest. That's what he said before he was about to go into the next game. He said, I'm gonna go home, hang out with you. Look this up, right? He goes, I'm gonna go home and hang out with my family, be with my kids and rest. That's what I'm gonna do. And the reporter is waiting for him to go, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna obsess over this, I'm gonna go work in the gym for the next 15 hours. He said, I'm gonna go home, be with my children, be with my family and rest. That was what he said. So he's very clear on this blend, even though he was a top athlete in the NBA. They won the championship. He's MVP, and right now seen as one of the greatest players of all time. And that was his response, because he's looking at this as a blend. He's not just saying it's about winning a championship. He's saying it's about the whole thing along the way. If you're playing a seasoned sport, it's enjoying every game. And you have to learn that, right? I'm competitive as they fucking come. And I had to learn that too, because I do learn to enjoy every life, and every part of this is my experience in life. Like today, how am I going to experience my life by design? That's the question I ask myself. How am I going to experience my life by design today? What's the best life that I can live today as an experience? Not when the borders finally open up and I can finally go lay on a beach, or I can finally go on, you know what? I'm not waiting for that day to be the best self that I can be. When that happens, that fucking happens. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy my life by design just as it is and how it is right now. And that's what this is about when it comes to this blend and this life that we're all trying to have and create. Does that make sense? Other questions you might have? Yeah. We've got beautiful birds on our property. I didn't realize how beautiful sound magpies made till I had a lot of them come to my home. These big trees here. I love it. Question of 7 of 7, right? When you first started to blend your life, with the biggest challenge, start of your routine. I think for me, it was just the right ingredients. It wasn't the blending part, it was the right ingredients. Sometimes it was too much of one and too little of that and too much of this. And normally it was too much of work, let's be honest. It was too much of work, it was really too much of work. Like I wasn't spending enough time with the family, or I was missing too many things. And that ingredients went too far that way. Does that make sense? For too long? And I went, okay, I got to blend this, but we'll get the right ingredients. That was probably the biggest challenge. Melissa, when you were 2, how do you move to a 3 while there's so much demand when your business is not supping the best? Look, Melissa, you've also going to have stages in your life. You might have a stage right now where, hey family, it's going to be a bit of shit 6 months or 3 months because, mum, dad's got to go out there and smash it and crush it and grow my empire. And that's what just has to happen. And that's the goal. Like for me, my family know, I've doubled my empire, right, in the last 18 months. But in this last half of the year, I am traveling a hell of a lot, because I need to get some venture capital work done, but I've got a lot of you that I need to go and see. I've got a lot of events that we're doing because that's my obligation. And so my family know that they've had me a little bit more this year than I would normally have, but then there'll be, a week or, back-to-back weeks where I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be traveling, going around this beautiful country of ours and helping every one of you and anybody else that needs help to be able to make the most and build their empire. Like this is the time, right? So that's, my family knows that's coming. Does that make sense? And are they excited to me not to be there? No, but that's life. So what I'm saying to you, Melissa, is that you've got to work out the stage you're in. If you're in a stage right now going hell for leather to make money, to be able to hire that CEO to walk out of the business and be a 3 versus a 2, well, then that's just the stage you're in right now. C'est la vie. That's the stage you're in. So work out the stage you're in right now. Other questions you got? Probably take 1 or 2 more questions. I'm going to need to run to my fam. Love it. Yeah, love that. I hope this makes sense to you guys. Yeah, thank you so much. I hope this makes sense. So it's about blending. It's not about balancing, but then get your ingredients right? Get your ingredients right. or else your recipe's fucked. The cake won't rise. Make sense? Get your ingredients right. My son's staring at me. He's like, I'm going to come outside and use that cubby unless you're going to come in. They're hanging out the door. All right, my time to go and blend. Much love to all of you. Look after yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow morning for another Stand Together. And as usual, if you need help, just DM me. Look after yourselves. Have a great day. Go and crush it. And remember, if you're going to live a life, you may as well live a life by design and not by default. See you tomorrow.